I feel like it's so rare that men shoot their shot in public anymore, or like even just say hi like a normal human being. I feel like men are so intimidated now and hiding behind social media. They don't know how to talk to girls in real life anymore. And the ones that do are like the freaks, and they be approaching you in the weirdest ways.
Translation: if you're attractive, approach me. If you're not, you're a creep. That's the real message here. Women like this don't miss male attention. They miss Chad and Tyrone. When an average guy approaches, he's weird or makes her uncomfortable. But when it's a guy she finds attractive, suddenly it's confidence and chemistry. Men haven't stopped approaching because they're scared. They've stopped because the game is rigged. Rejection is harsh, the double standards are real, and the only guys who get a pass are in the top 10%.
Stop telling me to go meet someone in the wild when I go in the wild and someone will be staring at me the whole entire night and won't come say hi. How many more times is that going to happen? How many more times am I going to be in the bar, playing pool, at the coffee shop, on a walk, and I will be staring down another person who is staring me down, smiling across the table, whatever, and you don't come say hi? Oh my gosh. What am I meant to do, you guys? Am I gonna have, like, we always have to make the first move or something? Because, like, oh my gosh.
You expect a guy to walk over just because you held eye contact for 2 seconds and cracked a smile? Look, men aren't mind readers. Giving a vibe isn't communication. You've got an entire generation of guys who've seen women trash men online for simply existing in public. You think they're just going to march over and risk public humiliation because you made eye contact during your latte sip? Here's the truth. Modern dating is a cold war of inaction. Both sides are scared of rejection, but only one side still expects the other to make the move. You want progress? Say something. At this point, if you're not willing to speak up, then you're part of the standstill, not the solution.
Let's talk about this because I want to know, is it only me that doesn't get approached? Because I'm telling you, these guys, they say to me, okay, I'll go on a date with a guy, and he'll go to me, oh, you must get approached all the time. You ask for them. No, they don't. They never do. Guys these days do not approach. And look, it could just be me. I can't speak on behalf of all women, but the ladies listening to this, please let me know in the comments. I want to be approached. I definitely want to be approached. I would love nothing more than a guy to approach me, to have the balls to come up and say, hey, how are you? I don't know whether these guys are scared, intimidated, nervous. Do they think that they're going to be annoying? Because you're not annoying. All a woman wants is to be desired. Am I wrong? It's nothing sexier than a confident man who goes after what they want. A man in his masculine who takes the lead, takes control of the situation. And guys, like, I'm talking to the guys now. If you're nervous to approach someone because you feel like, oh, they might not like me, or I don't want to get like shut down, what have you got to lose? Honestly, like if the girl's a bitch and she's nasty back, well, you've just dodged a bullet. And if she's not, if she's a normal, nice person and she's not interested, she'll just politely say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm in a relationship, or I'm so sorry, I'm not interested at this time. That's it. That's literally the worst that can happen. Best case scenario, you're sat there thinking, oh, this girl gets approached all the time, she wouldn't be interested in me. I'm telling you, we are interested. Single girls are interested. I don't know why people think that we're not interested. We want to have a conversation. We want to get to know you. How do we know we're not interested in you until you, like, have a conversation with us? It is so refreshing when a man approaches you. In fact, I can literally think on the top of my head the amount of times a guy has approached me in person, you know, just out in public, out of the blue, right? It is that refreshing when they do that. We remember it, because I remember the last time I did. I was on the beach, I was walking my dog, dude approaching me and saying, hey, you know, I was wondering if I could, you know, get your number. That's so fucking cute. Like, his mates were like sat on the sandhill and he'd like come over and like shot his shot, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad having to say I'm sorry, I'm in a relationship, but I was, and I wasn't interested. But you know what I mean? We think it's sweet, we like it, we really like it, we want to be desired. Approach us. Just approach us.
You might be attractive, sure, but men don't approach just because a woman is pretty. These days, most guys assume every decent-looking woman is already taken, out of their league, or just plain not interested. Why? Because they've been shut down enough times to get the message. Also, desire is a two-way street. You say you want to be approached, But are you approachable? Do you smile, make eye contact, give actual green lights? You want to be desired? Show that you're open to being desired. Because these days, silence looks like rejection. And no man's trying to beg for attention anymore.
Women are going crazy, guys, because they can't figure out why you're not going up to them anymore. Guys' eyes are wide open now, right? They're wide open. And they're starting to say, well, you know what? I used to think it was worth it for me to just put myself out there all the time because, I wanted to take a girl out. But now I'm realizing you got the gold diggers, you got the women who want the free meal, you got the women who expect me to do everything, but in return want to do nothing. You got women who are saying, what do you bring to the table? But when you ask them, they get insulted. You got women who don't. You can't even talk. You talk about, oh, yeah, you had 400 boyfriends before and you slept with all of them. They get defensive. Maybe I just don't need to pursue women right now at all. That's what's happening.
Simple. Because men have finally figured it out. Chasing women used to make sense back when the juice was worth the squeeze, when women brought femininity, loyalty, peace, and partnership. Now, you've got women demanding the world, offering nothing, and still expecting men to audition for a date. Dudes are tired of getting used for attention, meals, and validation. They're tired of hearing, what do you bring to the table, from women who bring entitlement and Instagram filters. So they walked away, not out of bitterness, but clarity. The truth? Modern women don't intimidate men. They just don't inspire men anymore. That's the real problem.
I have an honest question for the gentlemen, really, but for women, please chime in. Being new to the dating world, since I've just put myself back out there, I have noticed that people my age, men my age and younger, are no longer walking up to women and trying to engage in conversation. They're no longer coming up asking for a number. They are not, and if a number is exchanged, it is few and far between texts or calls that you receive, even though there is a mutual connection, there's a mutual attraction. But the older generation absolutely does. The older generation walks up, strikes a conversation, all of that. So my question is, why? Why is it that the younger generation, why do you guys not do that? Why do you not walk up to women anymore? Why do you not try to go further along after you've gotten the number and start an initial conversation? Was it, I don't know. I'm so new to this dating world, this new generation. Is it you're intimidated? Because I know about intimidation. I actually did a post a couple posts back about being so shy. Since then, I've done a complete 180, and now I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm walking up to people and I'm going to introduce myself because I'm like, what is there to lose? I'm putting myself out there to meet men and women alike, and I get it. I get that there's a little bit of intimidation. However, I also understand and completely know that that some people are not going to hit it off. Some people are not going to have that connection to become friends. They're not going to have that connection to become boyfriend or girlfriend. I get it. Please help me out because I'm new to all of this and I'm just trying to connect the dots.
Welcome back to the dating world. It's not the 90s anymore. Men don't approach like they used to because the rules change, but no one updated the manual. Younger guys grew up in a different era, one where saying the wrong thing can get you labeled creepy, desperate, or harassing, where a guy shooting his shot can end up as content on TikTok. It's not that we're scared, we're disillusioned. We know the effort isn't usually worth the return. So, unless a woman makes it crystal clear that she's open to connection, most guys would rather keep it moving than gamble on a maybe.
This is literally the point of the love list. Single men don't go up to women anymore. The girl in this article is quoted saying that she thinks she's essentially too pretty and it's too intimidating to men. If you're a guy or a girl and you're too scared to go up to someone else because you potentially may be rejected, are you also like that in your business life? Are you also like that with friends? If you are that scared of rejection, I struggle to think that you will be able to be successful in anything you do in your life because rejection is always part of the process. Until you switch your mindset, how are you ever going to expect to meet someone? Every time you think of going up to someone, Remind yourself that that could be the person. So if you don't go up to them, you'll never know.
Let's be honest. Approaching a woman today carries way more social risk than it did 20 years ago. One awkward moment and boom, you're on social media. You're not just rejected, you're potentially branded. So yeah, men are cautious. Not because they're cowards, but because they've learned the system isn't built for them to win. You want more men to approach? Cool. Then start treating them like human beings, not disposable entertainers. You can't shame men for being scared of rejection and punish them when they take the risk.
There's like this huge problem that I've been noticing in the dating world. The good, respectful men, the men with boundaries, will not approach women because they're trying to respect their boundaries. And it is true that biologically speaking, women are far more attuned to subtleties, like body language subtleties, than men. So a lot of times, women will actually be giving off clues and cues that they want to be approached, but it's more of like they're trying to give off a vibe or something, and the man has no idea. What ends up happening is that it's the men with no boundaries, or that don't respect boundaries, or the narcissists or the creeps, that end up approaching the woman, and then the women in my life complain that it's only the creeps that approach them, when it's really we women need to be giving off way more intense